What's up, y'all? So, this is to continue uh, from the other day what I started. Um, I left off with talking about the maintenance guy. We did a walkthrough, and this white guy came in here and he's looking around. He first, I told him that I definitely wanted the water back on. It needs to be on anyway. But as we're walking through, I'm telling him this is what the issue is because of the problem, the roach problem. So just so y'all see, we got a big ass roach. Hold on, right over here. I don't know if y'all can see that up there. Y'all see that? I mean, these mofos just be coming out. And I know that this is going to look really weird because I have my phone in a sandwich bag. Simply because I'm trying to make sure that when I sit my phone down, that nothing happens. This is some bullshit. I got to keep on checking on my other phone over here. Oh, shit. Because I don't want anything to get in my phone while I'm charging it. This is nasty. So as we're going through, he's like, yeah, I could definitely see that it's an infestation of roaches. He's going through and pushing them, like killing them with his hands. We don't do that. I'm sorry, sir. We do not do that. But he's killing them, and he's looking. He turns the water back on, and I said, because he's like, well, what if we put you, in another unit? I said, I don't want to be in another unit. I don't want to be here because who's to say that there's not an infestation of roaches somewhere else? I said, generally, this is a structural issue. And so if there's roaches in one place, there's roaches all over. And I don't want to be here. And so he said he'll talk to the people. He's like, no, I don't really have any real control over what happens on the side of the lease. But I'll talk to them and I'll let them know. And I said, I'd like to be, taken out of this lease if I can. And it, due to a breach of contract on their behalf, not any of mine. And so he said he's going to talk to them and see what's going to happen. He's like, generally, let me see. When I spoke to him, this was Monday when I got off work. Okay. No. Let me think. Before I went to work. This is Monday before I went to work. And so he said he'll talk to them and see. He's like, usually, after it goes through billing, it'll take about 2 days or so. And, the soonest that you may have your deposit and everything back will be like Wednesday. So I'm like, that's fine, that's great. So I go to work and so much is happening. And it's really a lot. So upon leaving work now, the next day is Wednesday, there was a person, a kid at the job, and he didn't want to go downstairs, kept on saying, that only his parents had what he needs and so forth and so on. Then at some point, he finally does get up out of bed. He's going back and forth to the bathroom. And I'm sitting upstairs because I had to be up there with him. So my daughter ends up hitting me up. She, and I generally don't take her calls, but they came in, the coverage for my shift ending the other people, they came in and they're like, oh, you can go now. And I'm like, okay. So I, answer the thing for my daughter. She's calling me, and I have her, say hi to the other staff member. And I said, I can't stay on the phone. I said, I got to go. So I hang up with her, and I'm talking to him, and I'm letting him know, what's going on. And I said, the one kid, he's in the bathroom because he showed me his bag that he wanted to go in there to do like his hygiene. And so as I'm getting ready to go, he's like, well, how long has he been in there? And I was like, probably like about 10 minutes or so, like around the time that you guys came is when, he went in there. And so the other person comes upstairs, the other staff person comes upstairs, and it's like, so he's in the bathroom. And I was like, yeah. So he knocks on the door. He doesn't hear anything. He knocks on the door again. He says his name. And so he starts to go in the bathroom. He looks and he doesn't see him on the side where there's a toilet. He goes around. He looks behind the door. And he's like, oh, my God, he hung himself. And so he runs out of the bathroom. I go in there and I look and I'm like, okay. The nurse comes running upstairs. I go over to my bag and I grab my switchblade and I cut him down. Fortunately, he wasn't in there long enough that he unalived himself. He was still alive, and so we're like talking to him and asking him like, what's wrong? Like, what made you do this? I'm like, were you hearing voices? Like, what happened? And he's like, I just feel hopeless. I feel a sense of hopelessness. I feel hopeless. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So he took his shoestrings and put them, to do that. And I'm shook up because I went through an incident like this at the job when I was in Florida. So I leave. I take some of the information that I had been given from one other coworker in terms of looking for a place. I go to this, I guess you could say it's like a resource center organization. They help you with things with housing, medical insurance, dental insurance, stuff like that. And I told them that all I really need is for help with housing because I heard that they have relationships with different landlords. So I get some paperwork from them. I'm going around and I had already I went by two or three places. So I'm on the next place and I'm inside. I see that I got a text saying, oh, we need to talk to you before you come into work, on your shift. And I'm like, okay. So while I'm in the apartment, viewing the apartment, I call. And all that said to me is, we viewed the video and we seen, what happened, that you were on your phone and you were a minute past the time of checking. It was 11 minutes. You were a minute past the time of checking, the person to see if they were, from them being in the bathroom. And, we appreciate your time of what you did while you were here, but we're going to have to let you go. So I got fired. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I didn't even want to go into trying to fight anything because I was not told during report that this person was having suicidal ideation. I didn't know they were that bad at all. All I was told was that they were a bit of a thief and you had to watch them because they were stealing people's things from the other house and got moved over to this house. No real report was given. So now, not only am I out of a place to stay, I'm also out of a job. And with the reading that I had, I know that I am going through a hermit phase period, transitional period, where there's just things that I'm going to have to get through. And I'm still trying to be as positive as possible, because yesterday I did cry. I was like, just kind of need some guidance. I need my ancestors to talk to me, let me know like what's going on, what should be my next move. And I personally feel like spiritually, I allowed fear to overtake me, because I was seeing the amount of people that they were just letting go with no notice. And I think that seeing that, I thought to myself, what if that happened to me? And it did. Nonetheless, I have decided to make some lemonade out of these lemons. And honestly, keep the lemons, because lemons are good too. They're good when it comes to protecting and absorbing negative energy. So I honestly don't know exactly why this is happening, but I do feel like there's things that I've been asking for that I want. And it's like this: sometimes when you are asking for certain things or trying to manifest certain things, or for those that say, they're praying for certain things and asking God to bless them with certain things, you don't have the control over how those things come into your life, how you actually get those things, or the manner in which energy is going to maneuver to bring those things into your life that you desire. So I'm still trying to look on the bright side of things and say, there's something here that I really feel like I'm still being saved from. Even when it comes to seeing the roaches in here. Roaches tend to be able to endure through anything. Y'all know that. What was it? They were shown how they could survive a nuclear blast, nuclear wars, atomic bombs and stuff like that. They just have the ability to withstand anything. And so I have to take that as a sign as to me running into them, that there's something that, I'm about to go through, but I have the wherewithal within me to get through it. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because I'm back to square one of being in my car and shelter, and really just trying to figure things out. But I feel like, I didn't know that the things at my job were going to transpire the way that they did. And had I still been locked into a lease here, because I got an email saying that they were going to let me go and that they're going to give me back my money Friday. So had I been locked into a lease here and the roaches were not here, I don't know how I would have managed getting another job. So now I actually feel free. I said I wanted to feel free. I think I gotta start specifying exactly how I want things to come about in my life. And really, because again, I told y'all I'm really trying to get back into using my imagination and seeing and creating the world that I want to have in my mind. And sometimes it's just not clear, but it takes time. You really have to sit and practice seeing what it is that you want. This is where, visual aids come into play, and you may want to get pictures from magazines or something like that, and why people use vision boards so they can have a clear image of what it is that they want. And y'all gotta forgive me, because I think I might have said it. I got my phone, if it's blurry, I got my phone in a sandwich baggie because when I sit my phone down, I want to make sure that y'all see that? My phone is inside this sandwich baggie. Wow. But, somebody could say, woe is me because I've got all this stuff happening. And again, it ain't like I'm not bothered by this situation. I'm choosing to look at it in more of a positive way and try to see the spiritual application of why things are happening in a positive way right now. I know that that's very challenging for some people. I'm not going to say that it ain't challenging for me because, again, being without having a place to lay my head, which this was supposed to be my starting point, my time of being able to get myself together again and really get on my feet and have everything, going in the direction that I wanted to go in. But maybe I was not supposed to be here. I really was not meant to be here. And this is pushing me in the direction of where I'm supposed to be. We may not always see things clearly, but I know that I am being guided by my ancestors, by my spirit guides. I'm choosing to, as much as possible, be positive, and I thank God that I have friends that really do care about me, that have offered up residency for me, just to be able to have somewhere initially to, lay my head. But I'm not going to get more down about it. I just have to figure out what is going to be my next step. So it's like the saying, no need in crying over spilt milk. It's happened now. What am I going to do? Because it was a hard blow. It really was a hard blow. Just being let go of at, no notice. And that's the thing that I don't care for when it comes to working at organizations like that. You don't get a verbal warning. You don't get a written warning. And then the final straw being let go. It's none of that. That's what I'm used to, though, from working at the state for so long, that we get those kind of forewarnings. Because this is somebody's livelihood. You know what I'm saying? You're taking away somebody's bread and butter and their ability to be able to maintain living. But this is also why we need to have more than one source of income, which is what I've been working on, which is why I'm striving so hard even right now to complete my education so I can be my own boss and work for myself and do what I need to do. So I don't know what this lesson is teaching me as far as the compassion that I need to have, or the ability to be able to know how to navigate and handle myself emotionally when it comes to things like this. I've just been trying to breathe and not get upset and be as even keel-minded as possible. I don't know what this is setting me up for in the future, but for what I'm going into and what I know that I want to do, I just am trying to see the lesson with it. So now I'm just in the process of making sure all my shit is bagged up. I'm going through my things to get rid of what I don't want to have again. And some of my stuff got messed up when it was in his garage because it got molded. So I got to throw that stuff out. And then I'm trying to put it in bags like this, little garbage bags, to make sure that there's no roaches because my stuff has been sitting in here, So we're going to continue with this, and at some point, this homeless journey is not going to be a homeless journey. It's just going to be my spiritual journey, and that's what I want to actually start saying, my spiritual journey, because I am in the process of learning and growing and getting to a higher level when it comes to understanding what it is that I need to be aware of spiritually. So this is no longer a homeless journey. This is me figuring out life for myself. You know, I don't know how many of you have actually been in a situation like this before. Any suggestions you can offer up? I already know that I'm going to go and apply for unemployment. I'm doing that today. I'm also, I have to look into storage and a few other things. So this is it, okay? Like, y'all keep getting these updates, and we just going to, keep on rocking it out and going from there. But that's where things are at. No place, no job, but we still making it, okay? And again, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys sending me, positive energy, everything, because it really is needed and very much so appreciated. So until the next time, you guys, be well.